The man, the myth, the legend. Many feel John Teeter is only myth, a legend made up by derelicts trying to make a scene for their supposed 11 minutes of fame. No, not in this case. I had heard many tales from Rem concerning Mr. Teeter, but I thought he was simply hearsay. That was until I took my first flight to the Blue Marble myself. I'd been taking in the sights of New York, a metropolitan area in the United States. Suddenly, quite by accident, a man ran into me. I could sense the essence of the fourth dimension on him. It's like seeing an aura of another living entity and discerning whether they are trustworthy or not. He looked at me funny, and then took me aside. "We need to find some place to talk. You're a traveler yourself, are you not?" he asked. I was surprised he could sense space-time energy coming from me, but it is much like a scent, and I have heard it is reminiscent of lilac, lemon, and honeysuckle for female travelers. For males, the scent comes off as sort of a limey mixed with a hint of leather and mint. It's pleasant and can be alluring in the right circumstances. It's also unmistakable, and the mere presence of it, without doubt, one knows they are in the presence of a traveler like myself. Oddly, only other travelers can detect it. John told me of his dimension and that although where he came from was far different than the Earth I saw before me, he had been responsible for diverting the Y2K crisis. I had asked him how he knew this was going to happen. He said, "There are those of us privy to such information, but we have been able to process all possible consequences of our actions, whether good or bad." As a traveler myself, I realized what he meant. This causality was something I was particularly cautious about in everything I did. As Rem had done before me, and was probably thanks to rules and regulations and certain unwritten laws of how drifting through space-time functions, I was careful. He had diverted and averted the crisis by telling many people how to safeguard themselves. And then he said he would go into hiding for a while. I asked him when he would return. 2012 is the year I plan on coming back. Many people are afraid that this final year in the Mayan calendar means the destruction of the human race as we know it. In fact, it isn't. A fellow free-thinker and kindred spirit, like myself, Greg Braden, stated that it is the beginning of a new age, one of newfound understanding and possibilities. It is full of infinite possibilities. People will either learn how to act as one, begin to search for truth, or the pathway will be hard. It won't be the end, but the pathway to enlightenment will be arduous unless people realize the true key is community. His words left a lasting impact on me. Rem had told me the exact thing when she had been alive. I never saw Mr. Teeter again, but his words resonated within my heart. With fey spirits such as his own, I had hope for these people. The Maya, whom we had influenced long ago with our glyphs and our design, as well as the buildings of their temples. They were only trying to relay information to people that would share and educate others and integrate it into their lifestyles. It only took one tiny shift to set off a ripple effect, or so John had taught me earlier. I had a feeling he'd come back to Earth someday, as it were. As for me, I was more interested in visiting places where the Lux had left behind palpable evidence of their influence. Field trips to power spots. Many geologists, archaeologists, and scientists alike love to speak of power spots. These magnetic fields can be felt by anyone. They don't discriminate. You can be an affluent being that holds clout over others, or the humblest person. Whoever you are, whatever you look like, it doesn't matter. These fields react to basic human biology, and you all know that you are energy beings. Lux react to energy too, and, interestingly enough, it is the energy of thought that gives our Urim ability to fly and glide through time as well as the quaint ability to shift forms. Now, shifting form takes more focus and energy and can be draining, so you won't find a Lux shifting about much. Yet, we ambassadors are the only ones who have the privilege to fly. Other Lux prefer enlightenment and edification through academics, philosophy, spirituality, and infinite avenues. They fly through metaphysics and astral travel. Our influence, therefore, spans even further than here on Earth. We can even spark a muse in the creative. Yes, humans are creative enough alone, but if we see potential for positive change, you can chalk all that up to what you know as progress. We embark on coming through dreams, for we too are dream walkers. There isn't anything we cannot do, and we are unafraid of the unknown. Ah, but where was I? I let my mind ramble again. Power spots, indubitably. These spots are what you would call holy places, ancient ruins, landmarks that have become beacons to other species we have met as well, like your basic gray, which look more like you than we do. The Lux are companions such as of such benign races. It is likely you will see and hear more reports of power spots in the future as well as the gray among you. You will probably get word of us, but do not panic or fret. We are not your enemy. We have helped countless times before, and we will again. You probably wonder about the cities of Atlantis and Lemuria. Yes, both existed. Atlanteans and Lemurians came from another planet, much like Lux, that was technologically advanced. For whatever reason, which completely eludes me, yes, even for an advanced race, we have some limitations. These societies vanished, but their ruins still remain. Their voices echo from all of antiquity, and like Rem, their particles are among us even today. Like so many adventurers before me, I am attracted to spots such as these. I cannot seem to help myself. The positive field draws me in, and if I feel weary or worn, which happens rarely, I meditate, reflect, and become introspective. The result is healing and utterly euphoric. Even for human beings who walk these hallowed grounds, they admit seeing a change. Don't be scared once you hear and see more coincidences popping up in your lives about such things, even if they may seem small or insignificant. The main action I advise is opening your mind, heart, soul, and your entire being to welcome what once was believed to be inconceivable. That is why I am here.